All right, welcome back to the A to Z challenge. So today I'm talking about T for talent. And sometimes we have a lot of talent, and sometimes we don't have a lot of talent. And sometimes we're talented in some areas, and sometimes we lack talent in some areas. And people will often talk about whether or not they're talented enough as a writer to make it in writing. I'm a firm believer that that's baloney. Um, if you're talented enough in writing, then it just kind of like came to you, you can just sort of spew it out. And nobody's really like that. We all have to work really hard to make our writing what it is. Even the people who say that they don't work really hard to make it what it is, they're actually working really hard to make it the way that it is. It's just that we tend to value the people who make it seem easy. And so we tend to put them up on a pedestal. People often talk about J.K. Rowling and how it was her first book, Harry Potter. And, she says, she wrote it and yada, yada, yada. And it went on to sell a whole bunch. She worked really hard on that book, guys. She didn't just have a book fall out of her. I mean, I'm sure that she wrote it and it went really well and it was very consuming and all, but it's not like your first draft is going to get you all the way. You're going to get better. That's sort of like the amazing thing. Your writing is going to get better. Your storytelling is going to get better. Your understanding of homonyms, which happens to be my biggest weakness, that will get better too. All of the things in novel craft are things that you can learn. Everyone can learn all of the pieces. Now, whether you can put them all together in a compelling novel that is entertaining to other people to read and is not somehow just sort of rehashing old novels, that's another story entirely. However, you can learn all of the pieces. You can learn about storycraft. You can learn about how to put together a plot. You can learn grammar. You can learn spelling, in my case. And, talent is great. It's wonderful to have talent, but you can do a lot without talent. So I'm filming right now, right in front of a car. This is not just any car. This is a race car. You can barely see it. This race car is currently not being raced. It was very recently being raced by a friend of my family. And talent is a lot like race car driving. If you have a lot of talent, you can go a lot of places. But if you have a lot of skill, you can get there as well. The car behind me, it's a pretty old car. It has some good horsepower, but the suspension's not that great. So they had to fix the suspension so that the car could go faster. You have to fix... I'm not going to get into the timing of a race car and all of that, but, it's not just about how much power is in the engine. There are other things to make a car go fast, and it's the same with writing. You may be very talented, but there are other pieces to the puzzle. It's not just about the horsepower. It's about the whole thing. And, let's face it, a car goes faster when driven by a professional than when driven by an amateur. If you doubt me in this, go buy a really fast race car and see if you win. You're not going to, because there's talent in the actual racing of the vehicle as well as horsepower in the engine. So that's what I'm going to go with. Talent. Talent is like horsepower. It's good to have some. It's fun to have some. It's a lot of fun to have a lot. But for the rest of us mere mortals, we're going to spend a lot of time fixing the engine, fine-tuning pieces of it, trying to pull out more and more and more. And the entertaining thing is the engine that you start with, don't necessarily have to end with that engine. You can rebuild. Build it bigger, stronger, faster than before. Right, child of the 80s and all.